Worlds are colliding. Jose "Chilly" DeCastro interviews CRAIG HENDRY in a vertical livestream. Says he returned to the format because he needed the money. Hendry questions what kind of changes can be made through auditing. DeCastro promises he'll run for government. Plus, both express their devotion to Ayn Rand. Is there something in the water in Denver? Regan Benson returns to do chalk outlines outside of Denver's police headquarters. Says the thug police are out to monitor her every move and have her arrested. Gets disappointed as she, spoiler warning, does not get arrested. FLOYD WALLACE returns to the crazy streets of Colombia after losing his glasses. Attempts to pick up underage-looking girls while on a dare to leave his Airbnb. Jeremiah Payne has another screaming match with a cop. Apologizes for no-showing his own fundraiser on Wednesday, then no-shows after promising a Thursday fundraiser. Will he ever get the money to sue? Plus, Fruaditor Troll makes a lot of words sound Canadian as he addresses his brief firing of Patrick J. Darcy, his hatred for that Randall S, the Unhinged Attorney, Newman, Esquire, and goes on all about things Canadian. I'm your humble newsreader, Pansy, and I'm ready to go north of your border as we eat poutine and drink maple syrup. Will you get the secret urge to mix your cheese curds with my beloved mapley goodness as we get ready to dive into another edition of Auditing Insanity? YouTuber Jonathan Fruaditor Troll, who know, remained defiant as the week ended, posting a new video on Thursday, then going live on Friday to address his recent lawsuit by Christopher Denver Metro Audits Cordova. Who know, refused to say the name of Cordova's attorney, that Randall S, the Unhinged Attorney, Newman, Esquire, during both the produced video and the live stream, but did level criticism at Newman while questioning the nature of the lawsuit. The Canadian YouTuber said that Newman was a clout chaser who was only doing the lawsuits to establish himself on YouTube. He claimed that Newman was willing to take a financial loss and do legal work for those who could not afford his services because of it. Using Cordova as an example, he said that Cordova has admitted to being flat broke over the past year and had to sell his condominium to avoid getting a job. He brought up the unsuccessful GoFundMe Cordova created just to raise filing fees in one of the lawsuits, and noted that Newman had to be working on contingency because there was no way Cordova could otherwise afford his services. Speaking of his own legal defense, who know, revealed that he had already spent around $12,000 in Canadian dollars in legal services between two ongoing legal matters between one of the lawsuits with Cordova and legal troubles on another of his channels. Who Done Who Know revealed that he had paid attorney Patrick J. Darcy $2,815 for consultation work, who attempted to file a friend of the court brief in the Cordova lawsuit before Who Done Who Know was even served with the case. At the time of the attempted filing, Darcy did not disclose that he had been paid by Who Done Who Know. The law offices of Stephen Vondran now represent Who Done Who Know in the lawsuit, with the YouTuber claiming that he's paid sums of $2,216 and $7,201 to the office between the two ongoing legal matters. Who Done Who Know claimed innocence in the Cordova case, but admitted to removing 1,700 videos preemptively in order to stop others from suing him for his work. He implied that Newman was targeting him by soliciting other clients, and that he scrubbed his website of any possibly incriminating material to prevent going bankrupt by having to defend himself from multiple lawsuits. The YouTuber also implied that he had used the New York address in his DMCA claims, as he knew that no attorney could ever pick up the lawsuit on behalf of Cordova, and was protecting himself from Cordova using that information for nefarious purposes. Who Done Who Know pledged that he would fight the lawsuit to the very end and would never settle, despite Vondran's reputation for quickly getting clients out of legal issues. He then put out the collection plate and asked for direct donations to his PayPal account from his fans, pledging full transparency for the use of the donations. On Friday's live stream, Who Done Who Know thanked his fans for their extensive contributions, without stating how much he had collected overnight. He continued to avoid talking about attorney Newman and belittled Cordova in passing. Who Done Who Know again pledged to fight the charges to the very end. When approached, attorney Newman responded to Who Done Who Know's produced video with a statement to ReallyCoolNews. Mr. Who Know's latest video is remarkable, not for its legal substance, but for the spectacle of e-begging dressed up as defiance. He spends more time rattling a digital tip jar than addressing the fact that his own uploads contain 4 to 6 minute stretches of my client's work, played straight through without commentary. He admits he deleted 1,700 videos because fighting even a single lawsuit would be ruinously expensive, yet now asks his followers to bankroll a hopeless defense? The irony is staggering. He accuses me of taking cases for clout, while he pleads for cash on YouTube. This is not a free speech crusade. It's a monetization scheme built on infringement. Attorney Newman has tentatively agreed to appear on the ReallyCoolNews scheduled marathon later today. Thursday and Friday saw not one but 2 videos released by Clarksville, Tennessee-based YouTuber Jeremiah PAYNE, as he updated his failed attempt to do a live stream to support his legal bills and to feature a run-in with a Memphis police officer. The first of the 2 videos was released on Thursday, with PAYNE thanking his audience for their support and to apologize for missing Wednesday's scheduled livestream to raise funds for his legal defense. PAYNE explained that he needed to pay his lawyer, who handled his recently dismissed court case involving Clarksville Child Protective Services. That case, according to PAYNE, was found to be without merit, as he permitted CPS to search his house, and they found that his 7-year-old daughter's needs were taken care of. The YouTuber said that he wanted to use the same lawyer to sue CPS, a Clarksville police officer who trespassed me from a public sidewalk, and the corrupt judge who handled the original proceedings in family court. PAYNE said that he needed $2,500 in total donations to take care of his outstanding bills and to file the lawsuit. He then apologized for missing his scheduled fundraising live stream, as he was currently working multiple side jobs and had been unable to get home on time of the stream. He then promised to go live Thursday night, which again apparently did not happen due to PAYNE's ongoing work schedule. PAYNE ended the video by pledging to fight the corruption he was seeing in Clarksville, and that if all 18,000 of his subscribers would donate $1 each, he'd have enough money to take time off and stop working for a few days to enjoy his family. Friday's video from PAYNE originated from Memphis, Tennessee, and its filming date was unclear. PAYNE was in the process of flipping off a Memphis police cruiser and screaming at a police officer as the video began. PAYNE screamed at the officer that he was dismissed, with the officer, while remaining in his police cruiser, responding that he was investigating a report that PAYNE had slapped his 7-year-old daughter. The YouTuber screamed anti-LGBTQ slurs at the officer, and again told him he was dismissed, denying to the officer that any sort of incident happened. In the background, PAYNE's daughter confirmed to her mother that something had happened, but Samantha PAYNE said that they were playing around earlier and that it happened hours ago. The incident resolved peacefully, with the officer eventually driving off as PAYNE continued to scream, "You are dismissed," while flipping off the patrol vehicle. PAYNE is accepting direct donations to his PayPal to help pay his legal bills. It is unclear if he'll be holding further fundraisers to raise funds for the multiple other lawsuits he has threatened over the past summer. The remaining fans of YouTuber FLOYD WALLACE got some zany action again on Friday, as Wallace livestreamed from downtown Medellin, Colombia, where he again took a bribe to go outside his Airbnb for a total of 90 minutes. Wallace started the stream by accepting a $50 Cash App donation in order to fund the excursion, and immediately decided that he would cold approach women on the street to fill the time. Cold approaching is essentially Wallace's term for approaching random women and essentially saying in broken Spanish that his name was Terry, that he was from Houston, Texas, that his Spanish was bad, and that he wanted their Instagram or WhatsApp information. He then ends every encounter by screaming, "Pretty woman," at the target of the cold approach, then moves on to the next woman. This was the second cold approach session in a week, and Wallace set off concerns from his fans in both sessions, with both his approach to the targets plus the young age of some of the targets. Wallace explained that he aggressively approached women regardless of situation, and more often than not, it would be the only time he would ever see the woman. He said that being an American and being essentially untouchable in a foreign country by using a fake name and background gave him the confidence he needed to approach the women. Wallace also has previously gloated that by using a fake identity, he could avoid situations with police and more easily escape the country should he get into trouble. Fans noted that Wallace was oblivious to circumstance as he approached the women, often ignoring the facts that they were with their obvious romantic partners when he approached. They also expressed concerns as Wallace, who is pushing 30, primarily focused on women who were working service jobs in the city. By focusing on those workers, Wallace routinely seemed oblivious to the age of the women he was approaching, often approaching women who were clearly underage. Part of Wallace's obliviousness could be attested to the fact that he has lost his glasses. He started the stream by saying that his glasses had fallen out of his pocket at some time, and that he would need to buy a new set of glasses when he returned to the United States. This was the fourth incident of things falling out of his pockets, as he reported that he had lost money from his pockets twice over the past 2 weeks, had lost camera gear from the same pockets, and now lost his glasses. Wallace had addressed concerns about his losses with a promise to get pants with zippered pockets in the future. His blurred vision continued to cause problems throughout the live stream, as he was involved in 2 near-miss collisions with cars as he walked. At one point, his blurry vision also saw him spend 5 minutes running to try to meet a woman who he saw doing gymnastics, only to have the woman turned out to be a man when he approached her. Wallace's fans conspired in his chat to extend his 90 minutes into a session that lasted well over 2 hours. This active trolling of Wallace resulted in the YouTuber exhausting himself, having to sit on a bench at one point from walking over an hour without pause. Wallace would eventually return to his Airbnb and sign off for the night, indicating that he was done with his adventures and would use the money raised during the live stream to find something to eat. Regan Benson brought her one-person big brass band back to Denver on Friday for a 3-hour-long live stream where she addressed her continuing problems with Denver's police department while assuring her fans that she would be arrested at any moment, as those same police were monitoring her every move. A highly agitated Benson started the first of 2 live streams on Friday, explaining that she was going to Denver's police headquarters to do some chalk art and to continue her handing out of pocket constitutions as part of National Constitution Week. She explained that she was out and about as she was going to advocate for a homeless woman that she met while in the Denver Detention Center earlier in the week. The woman had a hearing scheduled for her charges, and she was upset that the woman failed to show up for the hearing. Benson stopped herself outside of the Denver Police Department's Major Crimes Building, where she wrote, "Fuck the police," in chalk, and quizzed passers-by if they thought it was hate speech, and if she should go to jail for writing it. She also called out the pussy boy of the DPD, Commander Joel Bell, who filed a civil restraining order against Benson for publicizing his home address and telling her fans that they were having a pig roast there while live streaming. Benson assured her fans that she did nothing wrong other than distribute publicly available information, and said that she was 99.9% sure that she would prevail in her lawsuits against both the city and county of Denver, but in her lawsuit against Englewood, Colorado as well. The advocate for the homeless would lose signal, briefly suspecting there was an active signal jammer in the area, before starting a new stream that went for 3 uninterrupted hours. Moving to the courtyard outside of the Denver Police Headquarters, Benson moved into the walled-off memorial to fallen police officers, She began a tirade that she felt nothing for any of the officers who were memorialized there, and wondered if it would be all right to leave her art in that area. Opting not to vandalize the memorial, she found an emergency naloxone distribution box in the courtyard containing doses of the drug. Naloxone is used to help reverse an opioid overdose, and the doses were free to take by anyone in need. Benson said it was a good thing to see the drug available to anyone who needed it, but questioned why it was distributed in the center of a closed-off courtyard. She said that it would be more effective to be placed where the homeless could see it and outside of the presence of police. Moving further into the courtyard, Benson assured her fans that her broadcast was being monitored by the DPD and that they were listening to her every word to drum up new charges against her or to add to a counterclaim in either her Denver or Englewood lawsuits. She then went into an extended rant against President Donald J. Trump and organized government. Benson announced her belief that both Democratic and Republican politicians were the same, and that neither stood for the freedoms of speech or expression. Benson said that the only reason she remained alive was that she was broadcasting, and assured her fans again that she could be arrested at any minute. While starting on her extensive anti-police chalk work, Benson continued to stop and offer pocket constitutions to anyone who passed by. She verbally harassed and insulted anyone who refused her gift, as someone who hated the Constitution for the rest of the livestream. Despite her promises, Benson seemed let down when the second stream ended without a successful arrest. Jose "Chilly" DeCastro disappointed fans on Friday by live streaming twice and by giving up his vow never to use YouTube's vertical format again, as it was preventing his ability to properly teach his beliefs on the laws of the United States. DeCastro's change of heart was apparently prompted by 2 consecutive horizontally formatted live streams, including the first stream of the day for the diminutive YouTuber, reaching total concurrent viewership of under 100 people. The YouTuber's first stream of Friday was indeed a horizontally situated stream where DeCastro attempted to teach his version of the history of major laws in the United States. Due to the formatting and subject matter, DeCastro's stream did not reach a wider audience and peaked at a little over 100 people. By comparison, DeCastro currently has 674,000 subscribers to his Delete Laws channel and brought in roughly 107 concurrent viewers at peak during his horizontally formatted stream. Former DeCastro protege FLOYD WALLACE, with a mere 5,090 subscribers on his foreign-only channel, was live at the same time in vertical format and brought in roughly 68 concurrent viewers at the same time. DeCastro bemoaned his lack of viewership at the end of his stream, telling his fans that he had no other choice than to return to the vertical format for his next stream, as he needed to regain the revenue lost by the previous streams. The change was felt immediately in DeCastro's second live stream of the night, which has drawn 58,585 total views, $599 in Super Chat donations, 7 comments, and 346 likes as of press time. Unlike his previous video, DeCastro's vertical formatted livestream reached viewers, drawing in 582 concurrent viewers at peak during the broadcast. DeCastro's second video was also a return to form, featuring violent encounters between police and citizens. As of press time, it was listed as being age-restricted on the Playboard metrics service. It's unclear what reaction that status will bring from DeCastro, who has previously raged at the classification in the past. Besides returning to form, DeCastro's video featured a return of YouTuber CRAIG HENDRY, who was released from jail in Sullivan County, Indiana, over the summer. Hendry thanked DeCastro and his fans for their tireless efforts in sending him books and putting money on his commissary while in jail. He said that it was always a treat to receive new things from the viewers, and further thanked them for raising roughly $9,000 he needed to make bond for his 3 remaining charges, split between Sullivan County and Greene County, Indiana. The pair swapped horror stories of being unfairly incarcerated, and DeCastro, strangely, felt the need to rehash a court appearance where he was crying on camera. He doubled down on the story that he had just seen someone murdered in a restraint chair before entering the courtroom and was fearful of his life. While he never filed a police report while he was out of custody, or identified the person who was supposedly murdered in front of him to verify the story, he let his fans know that he was still a real man, as he only cried out of fear. DeCastro lingered on the crying episode and blamed it and his negative stance towards United States President Donald Trump as costing him half of his audience. Hendry took a direct shot at all of the attorneys involved in the unsuccessful defenses of both Hendry and DeCastro, calling out DeCastro's defense attorney garbage. DeCastro, apparently well aware that the same attorney was still representing him on his ongoing civil lawsuit against the Las Vegas Metro Police Department, said that his attorney was fine, but that they were oil and water and didn't come together for that particular case. The pair questioned their different paths towards moving forward in life after jail, as Hendry still cannot audit until his Greene and Sullivan County trials are over. Hendry suggested that he and DeCastro come together for an extended siege of police in Indiana once he beats his charges, and expose the tyrants for what they were. DeCastro meekly cautioned that while he'd like to meet up with Hendry, he'd have to hold his tongue, as Indiana police clearly showed they would arrest you for any matter of speech and would not tolerate insults against them. The pair also differed on their opinion of government, with DeCastro renewing his promise that he would become a mayor or governor one day and rewrite the roles of police. His reforms, he assured his fans, would bring the change the nation needed after so many years of oppression. Once he finished with his talk with Hendry, DeCastro went back to watching anti-police video. He ended the stream with a promise that he would eventually produce his line of hats, but could not afford to do so at this time as he did not have the extra $600 he needed to go forward with a print order. DeCastro has promised to go live daily with a new widescreen formatted teaching session on either the United States Constitution or his interpretation of American laws. Hendry has paused his live streams at this time. We need your help. Both ReallyCoolSite.org's daily newspaper and our daily newscasts are funded by your continuing donations and what we make from our YouTube AdSense revenue each month. If you'd like to contribute to help us keep the lights on, eating, feeding the cats, defending ourselves from lawsuit threats, and writing news stories to feature on both the newspaper and newscast each day, you can do so via a donation to our PayPal, Cash App, or GoFundMe accounts. If you can't afford to contribute, please watch our videos from beginning to end, like, share, subscribe, and comment. You can help by doing next to nothing, and we thank you in advance for pitching in.